Hello, I'm Danny with my co-host Danny, and this is the Gems of Rock podcast where we talk all things rock music.
Hi everyone.
There we go. Right, so today I wanted to start this off, and a couple of weeks ago we did a Father's Day special podcast. And I know we're starting it off completely other angle, but I didn't mention it, and I'm going to be annoyed at myself for not mentioning it, so I want to bring it up now. Start the show with a little anecdote, if I can. And I get really annoyed that I didn't mention it, and you'll be annoyed that I didn't mention it as well, because
Okay.
you'll know the story. But when I was a young boy, my father took me into the city
Oh, fuck it, right.
to see a marching
You just
band.
fucking hooked me. Oh, you've done me like a kipper. I don't really want to do this episode now. How long have you had that planned?
Since we
Me.
said what should we do the next one on? I mean, Gerard Way and My Chemical Romance. So yeah, I thought from pretty much just after that, I thought, do you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do the intro as the.
I want all people of the internet to feel my eye roll. Can you feel it? Is it transcended the sound waves to eye rolling? I've been done.
I mean,
Right.
there's someone else in the room with us this week, and I can feel their eyes in the back of my head. For
Yeah, well,
starting
she's
the
your wife.
podcast.
You can feel their eyes everywhere. She's a good wife. All good wives and husbands, you should constantly feel them like a shadow. A loving shadow. So yeah, My Chemical Romance. Fucking hell, right. Well, we wanted to go for them because, unfortunately, due to all things vid, we were due
event.
to the event. We don't talk about the
We
event.
don't talk about the event.
We were meant to go to a club night, weren't we? This coming weekend, weren't we?
Yeah.
Bootleg in Blackpool, lovely little social club. They do all sorts of wacky and weird nights, and they do a special emo night, don't they?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Harking to what we were saying earlier, like if you can ever go to these emo nights, they do them up and down the country in all sorts of clubs. Just literally, it's just called.
It's Naughty's emo and the Black Parade. It's like the Black Parade.
Black Parade,
Naughty's
emo,
anthems.
something like that. Search them on Facebook. Facebook will do the rest for you. Like Liverpool, Nottingham, Manchester, you name it. They go up and down the country. We've been a couple of times, and I swear, from 12 o'clock till about 3:30, I did not sit down, or unfortunately was able to go to the bar because the torrent of non-stop tunes.
It's so good, isn't it? Yeah.
And since we couldn't go, in the spirit of emo night, we wanted to talk. Well, we said Gerard Way, but we really meant My Chem as well, didn't we?
Yeah, mainly My Chemical Romance. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But yeah, so I've got some little bits of show notes. Now you've been doing your research as well.
All good geography teachers do their research.
Yeah, man. So again, I the big songs and the big albums, and I'm quite a fan of them, so I know quite a bit of their sort of back catalogue and stuff like that. But never knew much about the band, like information wise. I didn't know much about them. So I've got they started as a really slow burn, like they struggled getting going. They were saying like one of the first shows they ever played was the 5 people in the basement of a place, and one of the 5 people was a homeless guy who, while he was there, bootlegged the show and tried to sell it back to My Chemical Romance after the gig. In fact, that's the kind of level they started at, like really, really low key kind of.
Do you have a date on that?
I don't. Do you know what? I should have.
Because the first
done a bit
album
more
was
research.
2002, so how much earlier than that was it?
Probably not too far, like before the first album, but yeah. So it was. He was listening to Gerard Way in another interview, and he was saying they really kicked off and he really got stuff together. And he remembers being at the in America during the 9/11 terrorist attack, and he wrote songs. So like one of the songs off that album, Skylines and Turnstiles, off the first album, which I brought you my bullets.
You brought me your love.
You brought me your love. Yeah, so he wrote that with the inspiration of the sort of what's going to happen to the world after this event. So that's the sort of timeline that I've got in my head, sort of going back to sort of that point.
Yeah, well, that was released 2002, that first album, wasn't it?
Sure.
I brought you my bullets, you brought me your love.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I feel like one thing we need to pinpoint throughout any of our conversations is what is it with late 90s, noughties bands, particularly of the pop-punk emo genre, giving you fucking written essays for album titles and song titles. I didn't realise, looking into this past week or so, doing a bit of research, how many of their songs I abbreviate. Not consciously, just because I cannot finish all of their titles. And I've discovered new songs when you said this would come up, and we'll talk about them in a second, but how often do you never say, I'm not okay, brackets, I promise, do you? Or open bracket, close bracket, you say, I'm not okay.
Yeah.
And no one often said, we've not gone My Chemical Romance, Like you say, My Chem or MCR.
Yeah, you do.
So,
My
like,
Chem, yeah.
Because I feel like they're in, like, I say they're in the Fall Out Boy vein, but I think Fall Out Boy are in a My Chem vein, you know,
Yeah.
timeline wise. But
Yeah.
it's like, I don't get it. Just let's be concise with our titles and albums, people, please. Just
Yeah.
for my own like sanity going forward.
We said it, Fall Out Boy, I think it was Panic at the Disco as well, which was
Yep.
lying is the most fun a girl can have without taking her clothes off.
You never finished that song. Just lying is the most fun. Yeah, got it. Another one. Harlequin Boys. All them.
Yeah, that
smashing.
one. Yeah.
Job's a good one.
Yeah, titles that takes you it takes you longer to say the title of the song than it will
The
for you
song.
to listen to the song.
Yeah. Ridiculous. So well, then we'll go for some facts in a second. Why just kick it off?
Yeah.
What's your favourite My Chem song? What?
I really like Disenchanted.
Okay.
Off the Black Parade album. I really like Disenchanted. So again, a favourite song will swap and it'll thing, and I'll listen to
Of
another
course.
one by him and I'll go, oh yeah. Or nostalgia hits for something like Ghost of You. And I'm like, oh, this was so good. And you really feel them.
So, but
yeah.
you got instinct Disenchanted.
Instinct,
So
I'd go
why?
Disenchanted. I've said this before with other big bands. Some of the best song that you go to is the song that doesn't really suit their style. So Disenchanted's a really slow acoustic kind of acoustic guitar and nice singing. You can hear every word that they're singing.
Okay.
I like that with Slipknot, and you've got
Like Snuff,
Vermilion Part 2 or Snuff. Or
Dead Memories or something.
yeah,
It's
or
on
then
slow.
Metallica, and you've got Nothing Else Matters. The sort of the really acoustic ones where you can hear like, oh, they can really sing and they can really play their instruments and stuff like that, and it's really. But yeah, Disenchanted, it's got it was on the shortlist for wedding songs.
Right.
It was on a shortlist for when we were looking for stuff for the first dance. But yeah, Disenchanted there. What would be yours?
See, for me, Famous Last Words. It seems like an obvious one. Seems like an obvious one, truth be told. But I found something. I don't know if it's my song choice in general, my song interest in general, but all the My Chem songs I seem to enjoy, and the ones I've recently discovered, I'm going to bring a few up that I actually discovered in a second. For me, the opening grabs you by the short and curlies.
Yeah.
It just smacks you in the face. It's like, oh, we're in it. We're fucking in it. It's on, you know. And it even, you know, it's like, even like I'm Googling this week, I found the Google search, why does the G note make emos cry?
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, it's
but
right up there, isn't it?
That's not as in your face and as energetic.
But it grabs you.
So
It's so... Yeah.
I broke down my favourite songs when I was trying to pick. Famous Last Words was definitely one.
Yeah.
I couldn't really not say it isn't. Then there was a couple of others. So I'm Not Okay, I Promise. I have a strong nostalgic attachment to. You know, it is from their earlier stuff. You know,
Yep.
3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, so their second studio album, 2004. But I just remember being just crank everywhere. It was just bloody everywhere. And it was on Guitar Hero Warriors of Rock. I know we both. I know you didn't have Warriors of Rock.
No.
But that was one I remember spamming quite a bit.
Sure.
So again, I don't think it's a better song. I think it typifies My Chem at the time, but just Famous Last Words, just that. You know, that just opening bit of guitar is like, oh, here we go. It's on.
Great,
you know.
It's so good.
So for me, I seem to love all their songs with a bit of energy, come at you from like beat one and don't let go.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that's it for me.
The Black Parade album did that to a point. Pretty much every track on the Black Parade album is like, bang, oh, this is so... And you remember from the first beat, from the first bar, it's like, you've got the nostalgia to it, and it's so good, and it proper kicks you in the teeth.
Well, I say, like, we could probably speak just about the Black Parade song itself, like that opening, ding, you know, and not that I've got perfect pitch, don't judge me.
Good.
But then you've got what? I Don't Love You,
Yeah.
Teenagers,
Yep.
Famous Last Words I Said, and Mama. That's another.
Mama's so good. But again, the other ones on that as well, like you've got House of Wolves, and This Is How I Disappear. There's some amazing...
You're going to beat me on this. I thought I was doing all right.
So no, again, I had the Black Parade album in the car.
So again, I'm doing quite well. We're going to Logic.
I know, yeah.
2006 Black Parade.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, but it was such a great album. But again, like you said, the first song, the Welcome to the Black Parade, was so, and it is so held in high regard in the music industry
and the video.
The video is so good.
And like when the hospital collapses, you know, when it gets going and they have that like parade flow.
It's brilliant. Well, I saw them on the Black Parade tour in Manchester, and they wheeled Gerard out on a hospital bed.
Right.
And but you don't know, you just they wheel someone out on a hospital bed, and then the G chord starts, and then it's when I was, and then his mic comes up and he starts singing it. He's still lying down on the hospital bed, but the mic comes up, and then when it kicks off and it drops, the curtain drops
And you see
behind him,
everyone else.
and the band's there, and the pyrotechnics start, and it's just it was amazing.
Well, because they've done 2 live albums, and I think you got to have some chutzpah, and you've got to have some techers.
Good word, I like that.
Yeah, I'm going from Yiddish to gangster slang. That's just what I do. To have 2 live albums. So, you know, after 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge, they had Life on the Murder Scene. And obviously after the Black Parade, they had The Black Parade is Dead.
Yeah.
And just listen to them live. Just listen to those live albums, because I love a live album.
Yeah.
I think there's something special to a live album. And sometimes it can almost ruin a studio album, I think.
Yeah.
I remember, to like throwback, my dad had a Stiff Little Fingers album. I don't know where they were performing now for Love No Money. But it means I don't almost like listening to the studio version of Alternative Ulster.
Yeah,
You know, Wave the Flag.
Got
Because
that connection with the live version of the energy that it comes
the connection, the pace, whenever any point they put the mic out to the crowd.
Yeah.
You know, and I think if you can ever listen to anyone's live albums, it can maybe make or break artists for you, and I think it's always worth exploring.
Definitely.
So if we're going chronologically for now, we've kind of touched on 2002, 4, 6, and obviously then they went to 2010, Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, again.
That's so good.
Work on your titles though, man. You know,
I know, yeah.
I have an issue with it. I need to get over it. I shouldn't have an issue with it, but I do. So, alright. What do you think about that album? How do you find
I
it?
really enjoyed it. So again, the music videos and stuff to it went along with the songs as well. It was really it was all post-apocalyptic and almost Fallout.
Well, it was a lot more
kind
of an electronic sound, wasn't it?
Yeah.
They had a lot more
It was very
distortion, a
futuristic
lot more
and-
electronic sound.
Yeah.
How did you like that? Are you a fan?
It was a change, but I do like the stuff on it. And yeah, I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. If you listen to it as its own album, as its own piece of work and its own thing, that's great. It's so good. And you understand that the band's evolved into that or they're trying something new. That's fine. Just keep it as its own separate thing.
Don't try
It's
and...
You can't compare it to the Black Parade, because the Black Parade is just... It's a piece of art. It's
For me,
so
it's...
good.
I don't know how you find it. There's some albums you can put in a playlist, you can put on shuffle, you know, nay bother.
Yeah.
Don't matter. Doesn't take away anything. Doesn't have, you know. And most albums will have like a 30 to 40 second intro, a 30 to 40 second outro, maybe a hidden track. Like they do have a couple of hidden tracks on some of their
Blood.
albums.
Yeah.
But for me, the Danger Days, The True Lives of the Fabulous Killjoys, breathe. It only works when you play it as an album. You know, those, you know, radio monologues.
That's it.
Doctor whatever. What's he called on the album? Doctor something.
Dr. Death Defy.
Yeah, and like because it goes straight into na, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
so it's I must say it's the first
Look
time in a while.
Alive, Sunshine.
Yeah, and I've not ever played those so back to back before. I've only had na in a few playlists here, there, and everywhere. And you know, it's Killjoys makes and it kicks off like that, but until you hear the prelude to the kind of monologue, if you will, and you know those monologues come up throughout. And I know lots of good albums have recurring characters, themes, or stories either across their albums or throughout an album.
Definitely.
You know, Saint Jimmy, Gloria.
Green Day,
you know, Green Day,
for
huge
it,
on its storytelling. You know, Disturbed can do similar things as well in some of theirs. So for me, as a standalone piece of work, listen to it as a straight album, but I don't know if I enjoy the electronic sound, the distortion. It has energy, which is, I'm almost contradicting myself. I love the energy of the early stuff because it hits you in the face from early on and it keeps going. And there's some really nice variation in some of the earlier songs. So I wanted to get it to a bit later, but for me, one of their favourite songs I highly recommend people listen because it's lesser known would be Mama.
Yeah, Mama's so good.
But it's so wacky. You know, it's a bit odd, it's a bit kooky, it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
But for me, one of my favourite things in it is about halfway in, 2/3 of the way into the song, the tempo shift and the guitar kicks in. It kind of reminds me of, is it Cochise by Audio Slave?
Oh, yeah. The build-up, ages and ages, and it's...
And it just breaks down.
Yeah.
You know, that kind of, you know, so if you haven't listened to that, equally a great, fantastic song by a super band in Audio Slave. But to me, that kind of is, ding, ding, it's very plinky plonky early.
That starts with, I think it's the same guy that does the audio start.
Is it?
To Look Alive.
Right.
It's the same, because again, if you watch the video for Coach, oh no, I'm not, I'm thinking another song by Audio Slave. I'm thinking Show Me How to Live. That starts with the same radio guy, the same voice, saying it's the same intro kind of style.
So we're talking through the albums, and why don't we just if you could like have a few minutes to the few people that are currently listening to us, I recommended Mama. Are there any other My Chem songs that are lesser known you think people give these a listen?
I really like Vampires Will Never Hurt You, which is going way back.
Off their very first album.
That was their first single, Vampires Will Never Hurt You.
I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love.
Yeah. And again, it's so different. So again, if all you know by My Chemical Romance is The Black Parade, it's so different. It's not as clean cut. It's not as edited and studio friendly and all that kind of nice to listen to.
He's shouting a bit more.
He's shouting a bit
screaming
more.
a bit more.
And the levels aren't perfect on it. It's very raw. It's very unedited. And so it can put people off because it's a bit like, well, it's a bit too...
See, you used it as a selling point to me. And when we were discussing, when we finished our last week's episode on Nickelback, self-plug.
Shocking.
I'll try and defend them even when I'm not defending them. You put that on for me. Say, have you ever heard this, Dan?
Yeah.
And I went, no, Dan. I'm not talking to myself.
You are. This is one big ruse.
Hey, if I could throw my voice and change it this much, I've got some skills, man. Right. And if you don't exist, then cool. But for me, off that first album, once you played the Vampire, what's the full title again?
Vampires Will Never Hurt You.
Yeah, bloody essay again. For me, Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough.
Honey, the mirror isn't big enough for the both of us.
Again,
Honey, the big, something like that. Honey, the money.
Go on, get your teeth in.
Honey, the mirror isn't big enough for two of us.
Yeah. I've just put in my notes, Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough, because, again, I only have so much gigabytes in my phone. But for me, again, the openings to some of their songs are fucking unreal.
Kick you in the teeth kind of
fast
guitar.
drums, fast energy, go from minute one. So I would definitely recommend, those are the only two songs I would actually recommend off that album if it was me. It's their earlier stuff, lesser known, but definitely give them a shot. And the only other one I would possibly recommend that I generally hadn't heard of, didn't know until making myself a bit more listening to their background, is Thank You for the Venom.
It's good. Yeah.
Again, it's just my theme. Like, if you like energy, if you like pace, if you like the opening to be unapologetic and start from the off and just go. The lyrics for me come in a little earlier than Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough. So Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough. The second one I recommended after Mama. A lot more instrumental, a lot more music at the beginning, but Thank You for the Venom. The lyrics get going.
Is that Three Cheers? Is that the second? Is that the first?
I think it's Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Cheers for Revenge. Yeah.
It might be. It's definitely not. I don't think it's the Black Parade, but anyway, we can double check in a second.
Well, they went with a different producer for Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge. They went to a different album, a different record label, and the person that spotted them and took them over to that record label
Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge
was Brian Schechter, who was the producer at the time for The Used. And you can hear that sort of sound in it if you listen to the Used track stuff like Taste of Ink and The Chronicle of the Bird and the Worm and stuff like that by The Used. You can hear that kind of clean cut but still raw emotion in the music to the Three Cheers of Sweet Revenge, different to I Brought You My Bullets, and it really kicks.
Yeah,
kicks
and
through.
that word, I suppose we have to address the eye-lined elephant in the room. Obviously, they are classified as emo. Pop punk is probably the categories you'd put them in.
Yeah, I'd still go emo, and I don't. There was an interview that there was a gent talking to Gerard Way about it, and he said, "Oh, I've mentioned emo and My Chemical Romance in the same sentence. Oh no, what have I done?" And they were a bit like, "If you don't care, it's like if people want to call us emo, they can call us emo. If people want to call us R&B, they can call us R. It doesn't matter. It doesn't."
True.
And he's really kind of like,
but they're not they talk about some dark themes, but they're not as sad as you think. Or they talk about quite dark themes or sad themes, but with a lot of energy.
Yeah, it's very teenage angst, isn't it?
Yeah,
that's the.
Oh, particularly Black Parade. Christ, the song "Teenagers."
But that's the kind of the people that love it and have the nostalgia for it are the people that were teenage when it came out and they could relate to songs like that, like Famous Last Words and I Don't Love You, like the stuff that's got the angst running through you as a teenager as everything's changing. It's just you connect them to a time in your life. So. But yeah, I'd be happy with them being called emo. That's fine.
But then what I was saying is, my point is like emo, sad, depressed, whatever synonyms, umbrella terms linked to that. I don't actually think they are that sad at times.
No.
To bring that much energy, it's not always down and dire. Like you said, you do like some of the slower ones, the more melodic ones. But I think everyone needs to give them a listen. They're just a fucking solid rock band, aren't they? Just across the board. So. Would you say, without argument, The Black Parade is their best album?
Oh, God, yeah.
Okay.
Without hesitation. Yeah. You'd always go Black Parade. I really love their early stuff, and I really love stuff after Earned Your Days, and even some of the conventional weapon stuff is really good. But again, I said it earlier, Black Parade is a piece of art. It's one of those albums that will be held within time. Like, bands have them, like, you've got American Idiot by Green Day, and just all the, do you know when you think, oh, that album, like the Riot album by Paramore, and just, yeah, it's held in time.
Well, that does hold true. So obviously I've got the statistics here.
Oh, good. We love some stats.
We love some stats. Mr. Statman, one of my many nicknames. So their best of album, one of their anniversary albums from May Death Never Stop You.
May Death Never Stop.
Released in 2014. So it must be quite hard to decide a best of album, because that is something that's going to be so subjective across your fan base.
Yeah.
You know, when did your fan base join? Like you said, were they those teenagers? So for us, starting high school around 2005, you know, those that Three Cheers for Sweet Revenge and Black Parade is either side of us starting high school, you know, 2004, 2006. That's, you know, like a prime period. And you only really, I think we've discovered them later on in, like, when you're like 14, 15. I don't remember being shit hot on them at the time.
I saw them on Black Parade tour, so
you must have seen them in 2006.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or at least maybe 2007, a year after the album, give or take. Mm-hmm. But the way it's broken down, they're song-wise, there are 2 songs of I Brought You My Bullets, You Brought Me Your Love.
Okay.
And that's Honey,
The Mirrors,
and The Vampires one.
Yeah.
So the 2 songs we've recommended are the only 2 they've taken from that album.
I would recommend Skylines and Turnstiles as well.
If it's not on their best of.
Yeah. If that's not on their best of, as a recommendation for people going back and what would you listen to? Yeah, I'd go Skylines and Turnstiles.
Then they have 4 tracks from 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge.
Okay.
Do you want to have a butch like?
I'll go Helena.
Correct.
I'll go Ghost of You.
Correct.
In the End.
Nope.
Oh,
I mentioned it earlier. Guitar Hero.
Thank You for the Venom. Oh,
nope. I'm Not Okay.
I'm Not Okay.
And one more.
Yeah. I'm trying to think what else is on that album now.
It's a bloody long title. You know what they do to guys like me in prison?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And then Black Parade, it has the most songs in their best of.
Sure.
So we've gone from 2 to 4. Now we're up to 5. So again, I'm going to put you on the spot and quiz you. Go on.
Welcome to the Black Parade.
Yep.
Famous Last Words.
Yep.
I Don't Love You.
No.
Ooh, Teenagers.
Yep. We've mentioned one of them a lot. You've got a star sign and you've got a parent.
Mama.
And a star sign.
Star sign. Oh, Cancer.
Cancer.
I see. I skip Cancer now. I can't listen to it. It's such a good song, and it's so emotive. And it's, again, if you want a good cry, listen to Cancer, man.
So it's not an easy listen.
It's not. Have you listened?
I have. Yeah.
It properly pulls on the heartstrings.
And then we've got 4 from Danger Days.
Okay.
Yeah.
So na 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 na.
Na 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 na. Yep.
Sing.
Correct. You'll kick yourself in one more, I reckon. I reckon you'll struggle with all 4, but I reckon you should be getting one more.
See, I know stuff off it, but I can't remember if they released them or not.
We are currently on, in our solar system, there are lots of...
What?
Planetary Go.
Planetary Go.
I know you kicked yourself out of that one. And one more.
Again, there's Vampire Money, but I don't think that'll be on it.
Kids from Yesterday.
The Kids from Yesterday.
And then there's 3 other tracks from like single releases. I haven't written them down. Now, the Black Parade is actually their only top 10 Billboard hit.
No way.
Yeah, they've never had a number 1 album. But
Black Parade wasn't a number 1 album.
No.
That's insane.
Yeah.
But
here's the thing, though. So obviously they took their hiatus back in 2013, wasn't it? And then they released their best of in 2014. Kind of came back a year after, I believe 2015, 2016. They kind of came back. They had like 3 or 4 years off, was it?
Yeah.
But,
I don't remember.
And
it was a bit.
But to be fair, this is me using the Billboard. You know, this tracking.
Yeah.
It does track rock across various types, but I refer back to their live albums. We mentioned earlier, Life on the Murder Scene and The Black Parade is Dead. Mm-hmm. Those albums have consistently crept back into the top 200 Billboard.
Right, okay,
and
good.
They've occasionally brought back... And when they announced they were coming back, 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge broke back into the Billboard top 100 or 200. Yeah. But The Black Parade is the only song that's cracked the top 10.
Okay.
None of the others, you know... See, I would have thought Teenagers would. I honestly would have thought I'm Not Okay.
Would. Yeah.
You know, it was...
I'm Not Okay was a bit earlier, though, wasn't
it?
It was
early,
but
still...
They didn't have the
when isn't it on Kerrang? Or something like that, a TV
know.
channel, a radio, a remotely rocky radio.
Yeah.
But, so as much as they may not have the absolute mainstream, they've clearly got an extremely loyal fan base. And I think that holds true. And it's their live albums that do it. So either people have gone to those shows, wish they were at those shows, you know, one thing or another.
Speaking of that saying the fan base, they released a video, and their official website released the video, and it was a white flag waving with an X on it, so the Roman numeral for 10, and it was just waving, and then the piano starts with the G note, and all that plays is that piano intro.
That's all you need.
But it was the time during their it was after Danger Days, it was after Conventional Weapons, it was coming up, it was the 10-year anniversary of the Black Parade album. And I remember that video coming out, and I remember the internet losing its fucking mind. I'm just like, they're coming back. They're fucking coming back. They're doing it. They're doing a reunion tour. And I remember all the different news articles grabbed it, Kerrang grabbed it, and all the different places. And it blew out of proportion that they had to officially make a statement going, oh, we're releasing an anniversary album. We're releasing the 10-year anniversary kind of thing. But we appreciate the support that people want us to come back, but it's not on the cards at the moment. And it was just like, oh no! But I remember the video coming out, and I remember sharing it in the squad chat that we've got. I'm like, it's happening, guys! It's happening! They're coming back! Like, oh my god, where's my eyeliner? Don't panic! I remember it being such a massive... And I watched the teaser again this week, letting up for this, and I was like, they should have put that it was going to be an album. They shouldn't have let the world get their hopes up like that and then just drop
That's good marketing, man. That's good marketing. So did you say Gerard actually did his own solo stuff during that?
During the hiatus, Gerard went and made his own solo album called Hesitant Alien. I've listened to a few tracks off it today, but I never bought it or went out with it.
What kind of sound has he gone for?
It's similar to the Mike M stuff. It's more probably closer to the Danger Days sound than the Black Parade sound. But again, it's its own sound as well. It's not complete. You don't listen to it and go, oh, it's definitely My Chemical Romance, that. But yes, I wanted to talk a bit about Gerard Way as well. There was a short little interview I was watching, and it was asking the My Chemical Romance members, who's your favourite comic book character? And there was Frank and Bob, who used to be the drummer for them. And Frank said, oh, Spider-Man. I like Spider-Man. I quite enjoy Spider-Man. And Bob went, oh, well, I'll say Superman then. And I quite like the cape of Superman, actually. So, yeah, I'll say Superman. And then it goes to Gerard. And it's like, oh, what's your favourite comic book character? And he goes, actually, it isn't one character. It's a team. It's Doom Patrol. But not the version from the 60s, the one by Grant in the 80s and 90s, because and he goes into this talk, and I'm like, oh my god, he knows what he's talking about. Like, the other two really stand out, are just like, oh, they've just been asked this question as a filler. Yeah. Gerard's massively into his comic books, to the point where, discovered last week, and I mentioned it to you, he interned for DC. To have a foot in the door to get into the comic books world. A great starting point is to have a foot in Detective Comics. Would be amazing. But yeah, again, and he wrote The Umbrella Academy, which again has blown up on Netflix, because Netflix have done a series of it. But again, that's all him. That's all Gerard Way. He's written that comic book. It went massive.
Yeah, he's clearly a stupidly creative person. I was reading a few things about his the writing process, and they've clearly got variation in the album themes, musicality, a variety of styles they've brought in to make their own. But apparently they just kind of get in a room and just kind of hack it out.
Yeah.
They have no set rationale. Like, sometimes one of them will start it, and then Gerard matches the lyrics to it, or he comes up with the lyrics and they match it. Apparently they have a very open, creative stand. And to me, that just blows my mind. Like, how can you be that... It's not fair. That's just not right. I'm sorry.
Some people have all the fucking talent.
It's just that level of creativity is just, like, mesmerising. It's just so awesome. And the fact that they just must go, right... have breakfast, have me cornflakes, boom, 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 off to the studio. Black Parade's made. You what? Yeah. Can you walk me through that one again, please? Can you kind of put the pieces together for me?
It's insane, isn't it? It's that creative process, and that being able to just jam and create something and out of nothing.
And everyone needs to go back and listen to them. But I thought we'd maybe sign off with one last competition that I've tried to avoid cheating at myself. So whenever I've gone onto Spotify recently, I've typed in, this is My Chemical Romance, the best of playlist.
Yeah.
Or I've searched the best of album.
Yeah, I do. If I haven't played it this week, I've just played the May Death Never Stop You. Or Spotify has a complete playlist, which has got everything they've ever done. Which again harkens back to, you hear the Look Alive, Sunshine, and it does the whole intro.
And then goes on
and then clicks into Disenchanted. And I'm like, well, the momentum from that's gone.
So, you and I are going to decide what their top 5 tracks are, each.
Okay.
And we're going to see how many we can get in the right lock onto Spotify.
As in their top 5?
On Spotify's top 5, what are my chems? So let's remember that it's not always the total amount of plays. The algorithm picks up on a few other things as well. Yeah. Total plays does come into it, but it picks on a few things. So I'll go first because I've presented to you. So I feel like I need to have my guesses first. So I've got an idea what the top 5 are. I'm going to say what the top 5 are, and then I'm going to rank them, if that's okay.
Yeah.
So for me, like, if Welcome to Black Parade isn't on there, let's just fucking go home now.
Yeah.
Well, you go home. We're in my home.
You're currently at
Yeah. A song we haven't actually mentioned too much yet, Helena.
I fucking love Helena.
So I'm going Black Parade, Helena, Teenagers, Famous Last Words. So Black Parade, Helena, Teenagers, Famous Last Words. I'll go I'm Not Okay, I promise.
Okay. That's
right, so I'm going to rank them. Right, Black Parade's got to be number 1. I'm putting it number 1. I'm then going to go Famous Last Words as number 2. So you try and remember this. So Black Parade, Famous Last Words.
Yep.
Helena.
Yep.
Teenagers. And what was the 5th one I said? I'm Not Okay. Yeah. So I'm putting I'm Not Okay 5th.
Yeah.
Okay. So what would you go?
I'd probably pick the same songs. I don't think I'd add another song in there.
Yeah.
I'd put Black Parade first, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I'd then put I'm Not Okay next, I think.
Number 2.
Rather than having that 5, I'd put that next.
So you're on earlier, okay?
Yeah. I go I'm Not Okay. And then I'd probably go Famous Last Words.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'd go Helena.
So you're putting Teenagers last.
And then Teenagers. Am I putting Teenagers last?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to stick with that.
Right,
yeah.
so I'll load it. I'll get Spotify open. Okay, so Mike can do. Yep. Right, so I've got it. Drum roll. So, looking at it, we have got the right 5 songs.
Good.
We've smashed it. We've ballsed up the order, though, something fierce. Fucking...
Both of us.
We've spaffed this up the wall.
Black Parade at 5.
Black Parade at 2.
Fuck off.
No, I'm not fucking off. I'm saying what I say here. Teenagers is actually number 1.
That's wrong.
Sorry, everyone.
We're all...
Sorry, the 418 million people that have streamed that.
Again, it's not... Black Parade is streamed more than
streams.
Teenagers, isn't
yeah.
it?
So, Black Parade has more plays.
Of course it does.
But clearly something in the algorithm that Spotify's picking up on, the number of players it's put in, the amount of times it's clicked on, whatever it might be. So, it goes Teenagers, Welcome to the Black Parade,
Yeah.
I'm Not Okay. So, I think you put that at number 3. So, I think this might be the only person you've got one... Did you put Helen at number 4?
Yeah.
So, you've got 2 right.
Yeah.
I've got fucking none right. I think I've fucking ballsed this up. And then Famous Last Words is number 5.
Sure. On Famous Last Words, they had Bob Breyer as a drummer who left on creative differences. I'm using the little quotation marks there. And they had a big fallout, apparently. And now there's legally neither side can say why. Or like what happened and stuff like that. But in that music video, and again, it will stick with me for ages, at the end of Famous Last Words, because obviously they're playing the music video and everything's on fire in the background, and then he catches on fire. Have you seen the music video for Famous Last Words? And at the very end, Bob Breyer runs to the side and he's trying to put his leg out. He's then seen by a medic team they had standing on by, and he had 3rd-degree burns on his leg.
Shit.
Yeah, because they were that close to the flames, and obviously when you're that close to fire anyway, you're going to get dehydrated and it's going to be horrible. But no, yeah, he actually set himself on fire for the music.
Right, well then we'll probably edit this out, but I'm going to flip it on you. But you're on the spot, you can put me on the spot.
Shit.
It's a meme I remember seeing a long time ago, and we've argued the toss about this.
Okay.
So, you're watching My Chem in concert.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're in concert. They've got the whole back catalogue. Okay.
Sure.
They've finished the concert with Black Parade.
Right.
Okay. No fucks, they're going to do an encore. No shit, Sherlock. Mm-hmm. Okay. Do you want them to do Helena or Famous Last Words as the encore?
Helena.
Is it that easy?
Yeah.
For the So Long and Goodbye?
Oh, yeah.
Is it that?
Yeah. Again, I said at the very beginning, Disenchanted is probably my favourite song by My Chemical Romance. A very close second is Helena. I fucking love Helena so much. And I've seen people online debating that it shouldn't be in their top catalogue and it's not one of their best songs and stuff. And I was like, you don't understand. It's like, it's so
I think it depends what you're listening to them for. What are you listening to them for? Is it the energy? Is it the lyrics? Because the variation between when they're definitely
got both.
screaming a bit more, not just like shout. Like they definitely did branch into a more scream noise that harder to listen, particularly that Vampire song.
The very beginning stuff.
Yeah, 2002. But they're an awesome band. Everyone needs to listen. There's got to be something for everyone.
Definitely.
In all walks of rock, they do cover a wide fucking base, and...
Like you said, starting with the really heavy stuff. Black Parade album, again, is its own...
A bit more melodic,
it
gets a bit more electronic, a bit more
again,
distortion.
more emotional, and the sort of lyrics to it are really powerful. And then, like you say, more modern, more electric, more synthesizers and that kind of style to it in Danger Days.
All right, well, I think we'll wrap it up there, shall we?
Yeah, it's fantastic. I don't think we mentioned a plug or a
Well,
sponsor.
we
or
don't have a
anything
sponsor
this
yet. We're just like plugging people we know.
I'm going to plug Geely's Bistro and Cafe and Butchers
In Lytham St Anne's.
in Lytham St Anne's until we get free food. It's
Well,
gonna be...
like maybe we need to plug it for a couple more and then withdraw it because plugging it, he's only getting a little bit of like preps.
Yeah.
We're getting fuck all.
Yeah, that's fair.
We've gone to his every Saturday for a month, spending hard-earned money.
Oh, yeah.
Spending our money.
Spending money.
Yeah, hard-earned.
that I've acquired.
I try and graft, But yeah, Geely's Bistro, like, I'll say this with my good friend Danny's wife in the room, who will probably shoot me daggers, who sell the best sausage rolls ever. Savannah's mum makes a pretty strong sausage roll, but I'm sorry, Heather, Geely's are better.
She's going to listen to this.
She might listen to this, and then if she does, I deserve the hate I get. It's like a test. What we do every week is insult a family member or friend.
And if you get a text...
And if I get a text or a message, I know they've listened.
Oh, you listened to it, thank you.
Yeah, it's like, my uncle whatever's a knobhead. Like if I say
He
that,
is a knobhead.
we all have an uncle knobhead. We know this. PK, respect. But yeah, so.
But properly, Second Star Creations, I think would be the shout out. And again, we'll link him in the
I am
Facebook.
wearing the lovely t-shirt they
We
made us
are
today.
wearing the
You'll see that
t-shirt.
picture on Facebook
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Instagram because we're cool.
T-shirt's so cool. And Geely's has requested his own Gems of Rock t-shirt, which he's going to get. It's very cool. So people are actually wanting to buy the merch.
We'll make some merch. Make merch happen.
We'll make merch happen. We'll do it. But yeah, thank you everyone for listening. This has been the Gems of Rock podcast with DB and DJ.
Thanks for listening, everyone.
Thank you very much. Cheers. We'll speak to you soon.